Hey, how are you? I know that it's been a really long time since I've made a video, but I haven't had all that much that I really felt strongly enough about to say to actually sit down and record a video. But on Saturday, I was out in my yard just doing some yard work. I live out in the country, and I love it out there. It's nice and quiet, and it's peaceful. And I have not had a Jehovah's Witness come to my door for years and years and years, at least when I've been home. But on Saturday, I was out in the yard and I saw a van pull up, and they looked at me a little bit, and then somebody got out of the car, and I could tell right away it was a Jehovah's Witness. He had his silver sword in his hand, and he had a watchtower in his hand. And he came up to me and he said, "Hey, how you doing?" He greeted himself. Super nice guy. Seemed to be just a very nice, personable young man. And he said, "Hey, do you read the Bible?" And I said, "Yeah, I read the Bible." He said, "Well, I have a question for you." And I said, "Okay, shoot with your question." And he said, "Where do you think all of this is headed? Like, you look at the news, you look at just everything that's going on, all these hurricanes and earthquakes and all this kind of stuff. Where do you think all of this is headed?" And I said, "Well, it seems as though with all the sin in the world and people just constantly hurting people, and just it's not heading anywhere good." And he said, "Wow, okay, well, what does that mean for you? What do you think is going to happen? Do you have any hope?" And I said, "I do have a hope." I said, "I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. I have hope that one day God will come in and correct everything, and there will be a new heaven and a new earth." And he said, "Wow, where did you get that from?" And I said, "Well, I got it from the Bible. That's what the Bible teaches." And he went on to tell me how great it was and how great of a guy I was, that I would take the time to read the scriptures and be interested in the things of God. I think he was really trying to maybe puff me up a little bit. I know that's the way that Jehovah's Witnesses are trained. I know that's what you're trained to do, Jehovah's Witnesses. You're not really pulling a fast one on me there. And then he said, "Hey, I would love to offer you a free home Bible study." And that's the reason that I'm making the video, because what he did was he said, "Hey, I want to offer you a free home Bible study." And he began to point me to this Watchtower magazine and said, "Hey, can I come over and share some things out of this magazine with you?" And the reason that I chose to make a video today after all this time was to say, it's the same old bait and switch with you guys. You go to people's houses and you're trying to pull them into your organization, not really even to a relationship with God, but you're trying to pull them into your organization with this bait and switch, to where it's like, "Hey, we want to study the Bible with you," and then you show up there at their door that day to study the Bible, and you're not studying the Bible, you're studying a book, or you're studying a magazine, you're studying a publication from the Watchtower Publishing Company is essentially what the Watchtower is. And I'm just wondering if you're a Jehovah's Witness, if you're watching, and I'm going to put up some verses up maybe as I talk about this, but is it an honest thing to do to go to people's doors and pull this bait and switch that you're pulling? I mean, can you actually do that with a clean conscience? Because the Bible says your yes is to be yes and your no is to be no. How is it that you continually, year after year, go door to door offering people a Bible study when you know full well that what you're actually offering them, what you're actually wanting to give them, and what you're wanting to do with them is you're wanting to study Watchtower publications with them? I hope you'll think about that.